Hey yo, peep game, right? Let's take it back to March 2020 when the world shut down. There was no school, no work, no responsibility, no going outside, no niche. And as a high schooler, a 12th grader with this newfound unlimited time on my hands, what did I do? I jumped into Persona 5 for the first time. A game where you go to school, get a job, roam the streets, link up with friends, build connections, and interact with new people on the daily. So in a world where I didn't have to do any of that, I decided to play a game where I do all of that. Now listen, I discovered Persona 5 at the perfect time, when I had none of the usual responsibilities I would have as a high school student. So I played a game where I was a high school student with all of those responsibilities and nothing else, except for fighting demons in dungeons called palaces that are depictions of a person's mind that are also in another dimension, only accessible through an app that mysteriously appears on your phone that is also impossible to delete. Demons are actually personas, and in Persona 5 you're gonna fight, collect, interrogate, jump, and rob all sorts of personas, such as cool ass starter persona, Zoro, Dami Mami, the Flying Dutchman, Zoro and Odin from One Piece, Pot of Greed, Pixie, Melanated Pixie, Jack Frost, Black Frost, Pile of Slime, Black Slime, Magellan from One Piece, Ghost Rider, Succubus, Sister Suck, Freaky Odd Devil Dick, and your favorite persona, a literal penis. Yup. It's just a green dick with tentacles and arms riding a decked out chariot. Persona 5 might seem lighthearted, all fun and games, you know what I'm saying, ha ha ha, but these games can get pretty dark. Now listen, the gym teacher is an overworking, abusive asshole who's literally on the line of being a certified PDF file. Okay, you get me? You picking up what I'm putting down? Now, I don't want to say anything else about that character or others that you see along the way, but like, you can figure that out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just play the game, Persona's got turn-based combat. And for the homies in the back of the class who are a little bit on the slower side, turn-based combat is Pokemon combat. I go, you go, I go, you go. You'd assume everyone knows that, but there's some people out there who don't. Persona's turn-based combat is literally perfect, in my opinion. On normal difficulty or lower difficulties, you can just bonk your way through the game. But on higher difficulties, if you try that shit, you're fucking cooked. Gotta be upping your defense, raising attack and evasion, guarding attacks, die and reload saves because you miscalculated one move that did a little bit too much damage. But sometimes you gotta say fuck all of that shit and just up the fucking pole on a nigga. Story. I'm not about to tell you shit about this story. Fuck you think this is, bro? Like, I'm not telling you shit, dummy. Shit, fine. Alright. I'll tell you a little something, right? One night you're on a little stroll, you know what I'm saying? Some nigga trying to get freaky with shorty. She says no. He says yes. She says no. He says yes. She hits her head or some shit and you get blamed. You get shipped off to live with a random dude who runs a cafe. I don't know in what world that shit makes any fucking sense, but hey, you know, Persona! The characters. Now, the characters in Persona 5 are what make the game what it is. The characters are perfect. Everyone from Ryuji and Makoto and Morgana to the GOAT Sojiro to Takemi and Kawakami, each equipped with their own personalities that'll mesh with each other or clash with one another. Real emotion. They all have their own character arcs that they go through the more and more time you spend with them. Now that leads me into time management. Time management is a whole other thing to get into. Listen, I'd have the platinum for Persona 5, not Royale, if I didn't have to max out all confidants in one playthrough. Now let me tell you, I was not the best at managing my time in Persona, but if I had a fraction of that time management I had in Persona in real life, get close. Let me tell you, I would be up right now. The bag would be gargantuan if I had that level of time management. The bag would be huge. I'd be overflowing in money like Mr. Krabs. Now let me tell you about the music. Come here. Get close. The Persona 5 soundtrack is legendary. If you haven't played the game, you definitely don't know the amount of YouTubers that use the Persona 5 soundtrack as music in their videos. It's actually crazy. You could be watching a random ass video about a game from like a decade and a half ago, like fucking Adventure Quest, right? Middle of the video, what do you hear? You're hearing a random song off of the Persona 5 soundtrack. Literally anyone, pick and choose any song, you can slap it in just about any video. It's actually crazy. The Persona 5 soundtrack is a certified hood classic, and if it feels like I'm yelling this to you, it's because I am, alright? This right here is passion. The soundtrack is... Stop, bro. Okay, my bad. Listen, I've literally never heard a bad thing about Persona 5 aside from Atlus and Sega absolutely milking the fuck out of it. But I mean, shit, it really put Persona on the mainstream map for real. But hey, Persona as a whole is goated. That goes for 5, 4, 3. I can't speak on the other ones. Shin Megami Tensei, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's all goated, bro, for real. Like, tap in. If you haven't played Persona 5 and still aren't even considering it, listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.